Dream of Desire, written and read by Adamic. There I was. This is where my life had led me to. This is when I literally hit rock bottom. Falling from the cliff was a turning point in my life, and as I fell, I had enough time to reflect on my life as I clutched my baby boy. My young baby boy. The reflection went like this. I envisioned my childhood with all its splendor, from grand parties to extravagant gifts, and many could see the power I evoked. The strange thing about my privileged existence is the origins of my family. Poor immigrants from India, they came to America with nothing, yet my father acquired this small fortune as an entrepreneur, and he was able to invest that profit. And so came the American dream in all its glory and power. This dream, as it is so called, correctly portrays a dream as in sleep. For sleeping dreams have this innate ability to unlock every desire we repress during consciousness. This dream state is a dangerous one, full of lust and wanting, never mind being satisfied with what is already achieved or received. And for this reason, the American dream, though attractive as it may seem, can be an eternal nightmare. And that is what I believe, at least. I have firsthand experience of its dangerous power, and so as a young child, I became enveloped in this dreamlike state, and never fully awakened until I hit rock bottom. And I constantly required gifts and services as paid by my parents, and they, wanting to fully embrace the dream themselves, never found fit to say no. So, never understanding the word stop, I was constantly on the search for a new desire. As I traveled through adolescence, I became aware of something new to desire. Boys. With boys, I learned I had the greatest power of all. My financial standing was enough for many. For others, I would lure them in with my body. To them, my dark, mysterious eyes they would liken with depth. My opinionated mouth they understood as strength of mind, and my thick, long, luxurious hair they resembled with nature, but the reality was far changed. My dark eyes pierced, and they never understood. My rambling mouth was a mere byproduct of my vacant mind, and my long hair was never resembled nature. Nature is pure. Nature is truth. My hair was long to hide my power-hungry soul. Yet, men ignorantly and continuously drew near. And so, I extended my lustful, desirous nature into married life when my fiancé, Eric, proposed to me. Eric embodied the high societal position and wealth, and the wedding was planned accordingly, with a grand altar, assorted with the most exotic flowers. How I envied them. Those beautiful flowers mocked my facade, and yet I persevered, remembering how everyone will be focused entirely on me. My blinded nature was finally growing clearer. The clearer my vision became, the deeper I sunk into this depression. And daily, the lines on my face would deepen with sadness and strain. And as the strain grew, as did my desire, and I threw myself wholly into the wedding planning process. And sleeping would only bring more weariness, and no meal would ever bring me satisfaction. Still, I continued to persevere, and the wedding came. It finally came, and my hair was beautifully adorned with flowers and a veil. But the application of these artifacts was secured with quite a struggle. The flowers would not hold into my hair. And the hairstylist joked that the flowers were purposely trying to escape. And the veil was placed, and I took one last glance as a powerful and strong woman. And finally, I began to strut down the aisle, my head held high for all to see. Yet the strangest thing happened when I came to a halt at the altar, and I lost myself. I was no longer attached with myself, and I sat along with the audience and I watched Eric marrying someone I was foreign to. I sat next to my cousin Lily and my grandma Getta, and I still did not comprehend the dangers of my desirous nature. After the I do's, the reception came, and still I remained detached and ignorant. Stumbling into married life, I realized that I was bored. I was bored. I had everything, but yet I was bored, and I just knew that something had to change. I had to bring some kind of happiness, some kind of passion into my life. And then I realized I needed a child, of course. Why, a child would change everything. It would fix everything. And so I went up to Eric and I told him of this newfound plan. He didn't argue with me. He just said he wasn't going to spend much time with the child because he was so busy with his monstrous empire. Alone but feeling victorious, I went about planning for my new child. Not for 9 months. I planned and I waited. 9 months of emotional agony have gone by, but I was joyous, for I knew the pain and the boredom and the frustration would be over soon. And the moment came. Who would have thought such a disgusting and painful affair, such as childbirth, could be so enjoyable? And I pushed, and I shoved, and I was screaming, and I was waiting anxiously for that cry to end my own, and it never came. The baby was out, and no cry came, and I looked around, and a stone silence entered the room, and I started screaming, "Why aren't you helping him? He's not breathing! Somebody save him!" And the doctor only apologized. I didn't want to hear an apology. I wanted to hear this cry of my baby boy. But the doctor told me in a low, penetrating voice, the baby I had so long waited for was stillborn. At that moment, I was no longer two disconnected people, but one watching someone else die. And I watched as Lily took my son and watched her run to the cliff, the closest cliff, and without thinking, took the easiest jump of all. And as I fell, and as I clutched my boy, I realized I was awakened to understand that all my suffering had come from my desire for things, people, a child, my child. Wrapped in my arms, I kept him safe from all the frustrations of this world, and I fell so rapidly, and God's tears fell so rapidly with my own, and at that moment I woke up. Just a moment before I hit the jagged rocks. I awoke in a daze, finding my small waist intact. I was in bed. My body was drenched in sweat from this nightmare. And there's no ring on my finger, and just simple songs of the raven birds outside my bedroom window. And I was at peace. My life was saved. And I was awakened. And I was at peace. There you go. That was